Why are we drafting second-round receivers, third-round running backs ahead of a first-round wide receiver? Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Lagetter were first-round wide receivers. Situation, of course, little clouded. We don't know what's going to happen. But I think it's fairly safe to project one of either Deebo Samuel or Aiyuk being moved for 2025.
Until they are.
That's fair. That's fair.
Until they are.
But it's the same. So my question to you is, why is this so much different than Rome Odunze? And I understand the talent is different, the production profile is different, and the draft capital is a little bit different, but I think they are in identical situations. Keenan Allen is going to get moved for Rome Odunze, but Deebo Samuel,
Wait a minute. What do you mean Keenan Allen is going to get moved? I don't agree with that.
He's not going to be on the team in 2024.
Who said that? Says who? Why?
Well, that's my point, right? There's no guarantee Keenan Allen moves, just like there's no guarantee that Deebo and Aiyuk move, but those are two guys compared to one. And Deebo's getting older, and Aiyuk definitely wants a new deal. So I think there is just as much of a case to be made that Ricky Pearsall is a stash for the same reason that Rome Odunze is a stash with similar risks. There is obviously some factors there, and one of the big factors, of course, is the price you pay to get them. And that's why I want to ask you, you're in on Rome. You're cool stashing him, but you're not cool stashing Ricky Pearsall.
No, I'm not.
And I think they're both 2025 plays. If you draft them, they're 2025 plays. Even Troy Franklin, draft him 2025 play, not 2024. But but at least he's in that range where he is a 2025 play, in my opinion.
What if Aiyuk and Samuel are still there? Then what?
Then you burned a draft pick, but you burned a second-round pick. So it's like, it is what it is. You're betting on the first-round receiver.
I'm fine with taking where he's. I'm not talking about where he's going and the cost being too much or too low, the ADP. I'm not arguing any of that. He's probably going in an appropriate range. I believe probably middle of the second round is where Pearsall's coming off the board. If you want to, here's what I'm saying by out is this. If I'm at the 207 and you got to have that Ricky Pearsall, I will gladly trade you the rights for Ricky Pearsall to move back to the third, because I think the range of outcome for a player like a Jermaine Burton is probably just as close to what Ricky Pearsall is, and I'm getting him cheaper. I can take a shot on Javon Baker in the third, Jalen Polk in the third, wherever he goes. I don't believe that the delta between what Ricky Pearsall is going to give me in 24 or beyond is so much greater than that of the players that may have been drafted behind him. A Roman Wilson, a Javon Baker. I'll just take the shot on that guy. So by out, I mean at cost. Like I'm good with if somebody else wants him at 205, 204, 206, 207, you can gladly take him. I will move back to the third, move back to 2025. I'll let you take him. The Niners don't deploy three receivers like that. And when they do, Juwan Jennings is only out there to block. I just don't envision a world in which Deebo and Aiyuk are on that team. We talked about this last week, Jay. They don't throw the fucking ball. They don't throw the ball.
No, they don't throw the ball at all.
Like you look at San Francisco and you look at how awesome their offense is and how efficient it is. They do not throw the ball. I think Brock Purdy was sub 470 attempts last year.
450, yeah.
He didn't even have a 500 pass attempt. So it's not a high volume offense. So you're truly betting on Pearsall to be this efficiency monster, which.
But that's what the offense is, though. To be fair to them, that's the offense. They are hella efficient. Like crazy efficient.
They are.
444 attempts for Brock Purdy last season, 16 games.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I like him, and here's the thing. We do this all the time. You can like a player and still recognize and understand that, this is a tough spot for that player to see some early opportunity, or at least to predict early opportunity. We got to do all these fucking mental gymnastics. Well, maybe Deebo can get out before training camp. Maybe he's cut before then. They send him there before that. Maybe. Until it happens, man, if ands and nuts were candy and butts, every day would be Christmas, right? Or something like that. That's how the saying goes, Jay. That's what y'all say out there in Canada. But I don't know, man. I am good on Pearsall at cost. Go ahead really quickly, wrap up with Lagette, because a lot of people, or at least Jimbo, was talking about big Xavier Lagetter, and there seems to be a lot of excitement about how Lagette can be deployed in Dave Canales' offense, who likes to run a couple of different sets with 2 and 3 wide receivers. Lagette, first round pick. Bryce Young? Are you buying into what they're doing? And where are you at with Lagette and the stuff that's coming out about him of late?
Yeah, I mean, so Lagette's interesting because I think everyone is so quick to dismiss Jonathan Mingo, but I still see a world where he potentially starts in the offense as well, right? Like they wanted Lagette, they traded up to get him to make sure they secured him, which is great. That means he's probably going to play often. But, I mean, playing with Diontae Johnson, he's definitely not going to be the one. I think we all know that. Is he going to be behind Adam Thielen? That could definitely be an option as well. You look at how they deployed their receivers last season in Canales' offense, 136 for Evans, 130 for Godwin, 70 for Rashad White, 68, Ray, for Trey Palmer. No one really talks about that. And Cade Otton with 67. And I believe the big stat on Cade Otton is he played like a ridiculous amount of snaps. He
led the league. Led the tight end position, I believe, in snaps. Yes.
Right. So Jatavian Sanders, if he is that tight end one in the offense, great option. Trey Palmer was the third receiver in Tampa, so could look to him as a buy low. But you got to be in the top two. If you're not, you're probably going to be pretty much relevant for fantasy. No one talks about Trey Palmer, even though he's on the field and he was third on the team in receiver targets. So if Legette does that, if Legette had 68 targets, 38 receptions, 385 yards, 3 touchdowns, he'll be very forgettable. But when you look at the offense as a whole, it's actually not that bad. I think you should be buying into Bryce Young. You should be buying into Xavier Lagetter. The question is can he get the targets? I don't really think he will. I think they will be more of a run-first offense, especially as Bryce progresses through the offense, learns how to play in the system better. It's interesting, right? You look at Legette, first-round pick. I like him a lot, but there could be a lack of opportunity. And he does go higher than some of these other guys. Like, he's kind of early to mid. Like, Pearsall is definitely behind Legette as far as I see it in most rookie drafts. And I'd much rather have Pearsall because I'm betting on the offense. Even though the situation is a bit more muddy, I'm betting on the offense. And like Scott's saying, if he face plants or he only has 400 yards or 500 yards his rookie season, that's not going to be good enough for people. It's really not. And at that point, people aren't going to want him, and you're pretty much screwed. With Pearsall, maybe you have a bit of an excuse of he didn't see the field because he's playing with phenomenal talent. Now his day will come. But Legette shouldn't have any excuse if he doesn't get on the field because there's not a lot of talented playmakers around him.
Who's Deebo talking about right here? I worry he's running clear outs for AT and DJ.
I'd imagine you're talking about Legette. Yeah.
Adam Thielen. And so this is, here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. Good morning. How y'all doing? Sorry, the cleaners are here. He's going to be on the field. The whole point is this. This is the point. He's on the field, right? And if you look at Canales' deployment of Trey Palmer, and I tweeted this out, he was on the field in 11 personnel, which they deploy over 70% of the time, 90+% of the time. You're looking for players who have an opportunity to get an opportunity. You get no opportunity if you're not on the field. So is Legette going to be this monster for fantasy? My early prediction is the 1 and the 2 will not be Xavier Lagetter. It will be Diontae Johnson and Adam Thielen is the 1s and the 2s in that offense. What Legette needs to do, and what I put in that tweet is, Jay, he needs to win that number 3 role. And I don't believe it's going to be a cakewalk over John Mingo. Just that's what teams do. It's veteran preference, right? I don't believe 100%. It's going to be a cakewalk, but I do believe he'll secure that role. If he does, he's going to be on the field a lot in 3 receiver sets, which Canales deploys the most. 2 receiver sets, not so much. Trey Palmer didn't play at all in 12 personnel. It was Chris Godwin and it was Mike Evans, and then they would throw a random receiver in, Tompkins at times. But if he wins that third job, the prospectus for Legette should be better than him not being on the field per se. So, Jay, and I got a lot of Trey Palmer, dude. I mean, I don't come on here. I ain't one of them posers, dude. I ain't one of them posers. I put my money where my mouth is, and you can see right there through 155 drafts. I mean, this was pre-NFL draft. He was my 4th highest rostered owned player in all the tournament, over 155 teams. Trey Palmer,
Lad McConkey. Congratulations, Ray.
Xavier Worthy, Diontae Johnson. I got Keon down there, and you see Blake Corum as well. So put my money where my mouth is. You saw that right there. Make sure you tap in.